Hey, welcome to Left For Dead Garage, where we're finally going to try a Will It Run video. I've been looking, I'm always looking for something else to bring home, and for some reason inline 6s have been on my mind. I actually forgot that this was at my house. It's not mine. I don't know if this is a 230, a 250, but this came out of a really good friend of mine's 63 Chevy pickup that belonged to his, I think it was his grandfather, it might have been his great-grandfather. I'll put some pictures at the end of the video of the first time I seen the truck, his 63. It took chainsaws and sawzalls and a 9,000 pound winch to get that thing on a trailer. It had been sitting for, I'm thinking 20 plus years. It might have been longer than that. It's been here for 2 years, and it's been laying in this spot for, I'd say, a year. Before that, it was laying in the back frame rails of a truck that I scrapped. So it's just been laying here on its side, and it hit me the other night that this motor was here, and it wasn't stuck when we got the truck. I have no idea about now. I'm gonna show you exactly where it's at and exactly how I'm gonna get it. I could go get the tractor, but I decided just to do it this hillbilly way. But let me show you the motor, and it does have a very unique farm fab feature, which I don't know if you can see it while it's laying on its side. Yeah, it's laying on its side in the field. But it has a 2-barrel Motorcraft carburetor, which is neat. But I'm gonna show you where it's at and how I'm gonna get it, and we're gonna build a run stand and see if this thing will run. And somewhere around here I have the starter and the transmission. I'm more so concerned about finding the starter again, but the transmission is here too, I'm pretty sure. But let me show you the motor. There it is in all its glory, laying out here. There's the old bedsides to his truck. Here it is. There's the Motorcraft carburetor. I've not tried to see if it's stuck. It may be, but we'll see what we can do. Still has a clutch, flywheel. I don't know how long it's been since I've seen anything big A, but that's how old the filter is. This is where it's at, and what I'm gonna do is come in from the access road to the property behind me here, and just back through the trees and grab it with the cherry picker hanging off the back of the Ford. Which in reality, we probably could have done a Will It Run video with the Ford when I went down to get in it this morning. I'm gonna back the Ford around, and we're gonna try to hook to this thing and carry it back to the house, and we'll see if it'll even bar over. You know, I don't know if it's got a it doesn't have a crank bolt, but I can probably put something on that flywheel and see what we can do. Yeah. Let the cherry picker down. That way maybe I have more of a chance to use the ram to get it up off the ground. Try not to break anything else. We'll fall down. This is by no means a staged idea. I probably murdered the linkage. Hopefully the carburetor will unstick. That's the oil running out of the exhaust manifold. Fan blade smashed into the motor. But Motorcraft on the Chevy inline 6-cylinder. Maybe these casting numbers will tell me what it is. Hopefully it's not stuck. I'm sure we'll have to put some points in it, probably a coil, but you know, I've got plug wires we can probably make do with. Other than that, we're going to get it situated somehow and see if we can get it to at least crank over with the pry bar. Or not crank over, but rotate over with the pry bar and just see if it's free. If it is free, then it should run with a little bit of help. Probably carburetor work, ignition. I mean, as long as we're getting fuel and fire. It's gear driven timing set, so it's not like it could have jumped. Alright, let's see what we can do. Alright, so here's our temporary work setup. We have these strategically engineered crusty landscape timber and a 4x4 post. Still have the safety ratchet straps. I'm gonna set you up. I'm gonna try to, wow, look at that flywheel. I'm gonna try to set you up so I can get a bar on that dowel and a couple of flywheel teeth. Maybe we can get it spun over. I actually feel decent about it because it had so much oil in the top end. Maybe the cylinder walls were protected. I don't know if there's enough teeth to even get onto. Hey, I seen something move. Oh yeah, it's not stuck. Well, not completely. It's not happy. I think I broke that tooth off. Well, it's certainly not fully free. It may have a cylinder slap full of oil too. That's probably what it is. Especially since it's so easy going back this way. I was probably compressing a bunch of oil. It stopped again. I think I'm gonna pull these spark plugs out and see what comes out of there. Probably should get the leak blower. Blow some of this stuff out. That flywheel is rough, especially right there. There's like a quarter of the teeth left. It doesn't get much better up here. It's probably ate a mini a starter Bendix. I'll show you what I'm having to do here. I guess you can't see anything from that side, but there's just so much around the spark plug. I can't get the socket on. I kind of like to keep it from falling into the cylinder, but there's the spark plugs. Alright, that one definitely has a little moisture in it. So far that's the only one. That one's water free too. gonna shoot some PB sauce down in there. This one was the only one with moisture on the plug, so maybe that's the only one we're fighting. I'm just happy to see it's not fully stuck. And it's like butter right there. Right at that point, it is not good. I think we're working on a full rotation here. Well, it turns over. I'm gonna need to track down the starter for sure. I know it was a kind of odd starter. It was a cast iron nose, so, and I feel sure I know where it's at. I'm gonna pour some sort of transmission fluid, engine oil mix inside this thing. Let it sit. Spray the carburetor down with PB, see if we can get it functioning. And cover it up for sure. Just hand thread the spark plugs back in. Let it sit. But I guess we'll get on eBay and see if we can find dirt cheap points condenser and a universal 12-volt coil. Have to bend out that fan and water pump pulley. Could probably just run the water hose, pull the thermostat and run the water hose down the water neck and let the water just run through the block. It actually had antifreeze come out, so that's good. No, small chance of it being froze and broken. I don't see any cracks, but I hadn't like really looked it over. But that's what we're going to do. We're going to try to see if this thing will run, and then I don't know. I have no plans with it. Let's just see if it runs. All right, it's been a couple days since I first started messing with this old 250 or 230, whatever it is. But there was no way I could do well, I mean, there probably was a way I could do a run stand, but I just wasn't fooling with it. So we got this thing rigged up real safe like, trust me. And we're gonna spin it over. I've got the battery already hooked to it. I pulled the carburetor. There's no way that Motorcraft carburetor was gonna make it. I wasn't gonna fool with that thing. This thing is definitely cooked. Plenty of water got in it. Apparently there's some moisture down in there. But I'm gonna dump some ATF down the hole there. I got the bell housing on, obviously. It's kind of sitting on the tailgate. It keeps it slightly stable. Stole the battery off my trailer, my winch. Just how it worked out. The red is the ground and the black is the positive. I'm going to spin it over for right now. Check some compression. And if all's well there, I'll put 12 volts to that coil. We'll see if I got any spark coming out of the distributor. But let's put some ATF down it. I'm gonna sauce this thing up pretty good. Maybe a quarter of a quart. It's not really going anywhere. Let me get my bump switch and spin it over. Get on that side so I don't take a transmission fluid bath. It's not really pulling any down. Spraying much out. I still have a lake of ATF in the intake.
How long until this strap right here gets off?
Yeah, it's a good Harbor Freight strap too. That's good. Now it's completely hanging from Chinese straps. Don't follow my toe. I don't care. It's hanging level now. That's a plus. I've only had this strap here since I was 16 years old, so I mean, and that was 1996. It's been a good one. I don't think they make straps like this anymore.
Was that your like
First dirt bike strap.
It's crazy they don't make stuff like that.
Yeah, 96. And I think it was used when I got it. Somebody gave it to me. Number 3 has got a lot coming out. I really don't want to be on that side and spin this thing over. Ton coming out of that one. Nothing out of these front 2, 3. See if it's got compression. A little bit there. Like 2 pounds in number 2. Number 3's got a little bit. Number 4 has 0. Number 5, 0. 6 has a little. That was with my built-in compression tester, my finger. So, we have no compression. Maybe we have a stuck valve. It did have moisture in the motor, so there's a good chance we have a stuck valve. Yeah. Let me grab a 7/16 and we'll pull the valve cover and see what's in there. Alright, that one's clearly stuck. That one probably is too. Some sort of, it's actually not super bad dirty. These 2 are not moving. Valves are definitely stuck. These 2 want to move. I mean, maybe the lifters are just that bled down. I mean, that one's definitely stuck. Oh, that one moved. Follow this. Alright, it's stuck down again. Here, I'll show you what's going on. Probably can't see it from over there. But this one looks like the intake to the 5th cylinder. Or, yeah, the intake. See, it pops up. The valve's just sticking in the guide. Let's take a look in this cap. I did buy a coil and new spark plugs because I broke one plug, so it needed. at least one. I figure if I was buying one, what's another couple bucks? And a coil would just be handy to have. They are definitely corroded. You can see right there. So maybe I should have bought some points. I'll try to sand the contacts. The button looks pretty rough. I don't think I've touched a set of points in about 15 years. Let's see if these points even open up. Yeah, they open. All right, well, I didn't film unboxing the coil, but this wire runs to this alligator clip, which is our ignition, obviously wired to the distributor. If you get down in there and you listen, we have fire at the points. So I'm going to stick the cap on with the coil wire, and we'll see if we have anything coming out of the coil. It does have spark, very little, very little. So let's stick some spark plugs in this thing, and I might have to steal a wire out of my collection just to make something work. I thought there was all 6 wires. Maybe they weren't, I don't know. But that's clearly going to be a problem. May just have to keep working on that. But I'm gonna put some plugs in this and round some wires up. And we gotta do something about a carburetor, obviously. But I got a plate. It was cheaper for me to buy a 2-barrel to a 4-barrel plate and use the 4-barrel Holly off my 454 than it was to buy anything used Motorcraft like it was, or a 2-barrel or a 1-barrel GM carburetor for this thing. And I looked in a 50-mile radius on Marketplace. So the plate was like $18. Maybe I'll use it for something down the road, or just leave it on here if it runs. But I got to get the plate, grab the carburetor, some plug wires, put some spark plugs in, and we'll get back to it. All right, I didn't check number 1 to the rotor, but according to the internet, this is the firing order. Hopefully it's right. We got adapters on adapters over here. It goes from a 1-barrel to the 2-barrel adapter, and then I went 2-barrel to 4-barrel because this is the only carburetor I had around that I knew was been a year since I'd used it. Put new plugs in it. Got the major vacuum lines plugged off. This is what was the vacuum advance from the big block. I just stuck it there to make it stay. I sort of semi-filled the bowl. We have squirter action. The valve cover is just hanging out. I probably should put some oil in it. We got a little bit of spark, fresh gas, a mixture of induction here with 4 times the amount of carburetor that it came with. I think that's a 750. I can't remember. I didn't buy it. It came on the truck. Let's see what has oil. Well, it's on the dipstick. I'll put a little bit in it, and that could be some of why the rockers were slow to react, because it's low on oil. And well, I'm sure the motor's not primed because it was laying upside down. And anyway, let's I'm gonna pour some oil in it and we'll see if it'll start. All right, I got the front bowl full. I poured a gallon of some pre-owned oil in it. Maybe I should choke it. I can't believe it even, I mean, it doesn't sound good. And this valve is still, oh wait. Maybe the compression pushed it back up. that transmission fluid. I mean, it runs. Well, you know, kind of. I'm gonna keep going. I might have to put the charger on the battery. Oh my God, there is like stuff running out the exhaust manifold. I don't know if that means I'm gonna get coated with stuff. But there is just stuff running out the exhaust manifold, so I'm sure the plugs are probably not happy again. We may not have the right firing order because it's popping through the carburetor. Alright, I didn't video it, but I moved the wires one spot forward on the cap. The drawing on the internet was a little, could have been either way. It just blew back through the carburetor instantly. So I got the battery charger on the battery. I guess I should have just put straight gas down the manifold because all the transmission fluid maybe washed a little out, or spun it over more, because there's just an endless amount of transmission fluid and PV blast and whatever coming out of the manifold. Probably already wiped out the plugs, but we'll keep trying. Okay, I got this valve unstuck. I took the pry bar and pushed under the hat where the retainer is, and while it cycled over, then it finally started moving up and down. It was staying stuck, so that was probably what the pop back through the carburetor was. So it's getting awful slow. Alright, I've had the battery charger for about an hour. The starter may be dragging, but we'll try to maybe help things out with the fresh battery. Maybe some of this oil or whatever is settled down, or transmission fluid settled down in the combustion chamber. I'm going to try real hard to get this thing to run. If I can get it to fire off and run for a little bit, then I'll figure out what to do about hooking the water hose to it, probably tomorrow, and run it for a while, see how it does. The valve cover's still loose. Luckily the intake valve on number 5 is free again, so we got that working for us. So maybe no more popping back through the carburetor. It's a whole lot of carburetor for this motor, but it's all I have. Sometimes you just got to do with what you got. I really didn't want to spend any more money on this thing because, well, I had no idea if it was good. So let's see what we can get done. It's not spinning over very fast, so.
may grab some jumper cables and move one of the shop trucks over here. Get all the cranking amps I can to this battery. I mean, it attempted to fire off pretty good there for a second. It's definitely smoking severely, so it could still be oil soaked. Chamber, spark plug, and all that. But if the shop truck will crank, I'll pull it over here and hook it to this battery, and maybe that'll help it. Alright, I gave up on the old starter. Advance Auto actually had one in stock, so by the time I did the 25% off, my $5 coupon, all said and done after the cord charge, a new one was $45. Now I had to take a grinder to this thing, right in this area, because it was kind of clocked funny, but it's actually spinning over pretty quick. All I did was bump it just to make sure there was no flywheel to starter nose housing interference. I just filled the bowl to the carburetor. I'm going to hook the ignition up. And we're going to see what will happen. Come on. Close, I guess. My ground's smoking, so we'll redo the ground and we'll try it again. Flywheel seems to be rubbing something. Got a massive base gasket leak or something. But it runs. Does it run good? Nope, but it runs. There was all kinds of sparks flying out of the bell housing. I guess it's rubbing the... I ain't got a clue what it's rubbing. And then it looks like... Yeah, I have no idea. But it did run. Try it again, I suppose. Try to fill the bowl. All right, bowl's full. Bombs away. It runs. Look. Accomplished it. Would I use it? Probably not. Is it junk? Yeah. But does it run? Yeah. this was completely pointless, other than just to see if the motor would run. And probably could have spent $90 a better way. But, I mean, I can't really think of any other way to spend a Saturday night than to see if we can get this junk run. I got my youngest son here with me. He's definitely never seen no craziness like this, so I don't know. What do we do with it? We put it on the wood and wait for the rods to fly out the bottom, or what? Let me know down in the comments. But hey, it is what it is. Might fix it, might not, might throw it back out in the field for another couple of years.
I'm gonna see if it'll run again. I want to get another ratchet strap because it gets a little wonky when you start.
That's why I was laughing. I was just freaking wiggling around.
I'll let her rip one more time. This is a mess. The neighbors are probably wondering what in the world I'm doing. Well, it runs. She floats the valves, but it runs. I guess it ran out of gas, I don't know.
Well, I better quit while we're ahead. But it runs.
Well, I wasn't sure if this would be a success. It was looking pretty bad. I didn't really want to go buy a starter for it, but every now and again it would try to kick over. The starter definitely helped. Another thing I did but I didn't film, number 1 had like no compression. Number 3 had all of the compression. My compression gauge wouldn't fit this bigger spark plug thread, so I couldn't check it. I took the propane torch and we basically just aimed it down in the cylinder through the spark plug hole on 1 and just left it for 15 minutes. Got it as hot as I could get it. Kind of warmed up the other cylinders as well, cleaned the spark plugs back off, and it pretty much kicked over right then. Where we had the valve cover loose, that's where all the smoke is. It's steaming a little, but I don't really want to run it anymore when it's not mine, and it has no coolant in it, so I don't really want to hurt it any more than it is. He may not use it, I may not use it. I don't really know the fate of this motor.
What's up, Charlie?
But it was fun, and I don't know, it's just one of those things. Why not? Just give it a shot. So I appreciate you watching. I appreciate all the subscribers, all the views. If you like this stuff, you know, like and subscribe, share it, tell people about it. I guess next video we're going to be working on the 454. I'm waiting on parts for that. Went to a swap meet today, the only swap meet I've been to all year. I really had hoped that it would be
successful. We picked up a set of used big block headers for 25 bucks. I don't know, actually 20 bucks. I don't know if they'll work, but $20 headers, shorty headers, was cheaper than any of the manifolds that I'd seen. So still need a carburetor and an intake, but we'll cover all that when I do the tear down of the big block. Not a complete tear down, we're just going to get it ready for a cam and then some other things. Until that video, I appreciate you watching, and thanks for watching Left For Dead Garage.